Okay, so now I'm going to try and just quickly play through all the different kinds of hits that are included. So I'm going to start with the kit set to the sticks, and I'm going to go with the ride cymbal first. All the ride cymbal hits are in orange. So we have, of course, the basic hit where the drummer's using the tip of the stick. And you're hearing our resonant repetition approach there. Then we have the version where the drummer hits the cymbal with the shoulder of the stick as sort of like an accent. Then we have some bell hits. Bell with the shoulder of the stick, with the tip. We have this side hit. I've always wanted that sound, like on the end of a ballad. That's where you're actually like kind of hitting the side of the cymbal with the stick. Then we have rolls. A short roll and a longer roll. Then I have some ways to choke the cymbal. So there's a regular choke key where you can play it. So I could play any ride cymbal hit, and then when I play this key here, it'll stop it naturally with a sample. It'll do the same for the shoulder. There's a special shoulder one. And then I have actual performances of choked hits. Here's a short one and a longer one. I just did that because I find in my own work that sometimes it's really hard to put a natural ending on something. So now I'll go to the hi-hats, which are in yellow. So we have the basic hi-hat where the drummer is using the tip of the stick towards the center of or the middle of the cymbal. If we go up an octave, we have the same mapping, but with the shoulder of the stick on the edge of the cymbal. So it's kind of a looser, trashier sound. As compared to this is the same sample on both keys. Then we have the foot splash. Kind of using that sound. Then there's that side effect. Open slashes, meaning like that the hats are, you know, loose and flopping around when you hit it. Then the toms, there's the floor toms are purple and the rack tom is pink. That's the basic hit with the resonant repetitions. Then we have some flams. Then we have some roughs. I sort of dual map these. So these are in octaves, the basic hits. And then there's flams. And then there's a rough. And rough on the rack tom. So then we also have rolls. The floor tom roll, rack tom roll. And we have the same thing up here. We have buzz rolls. So you can, and there's a snare one too. And then there's an option up here to have the rolls either be, the dynamics be controlled by mod wheel or velocity. Sometimes it's more convenient to just leave it on velocity. Or you could, if you need to do a swell, you put it on mod wheel. And then there's this option to automatically play a note on the release of the roll, or just have it cut off and you can add your own release using one of the regular hits. Okay, then we have the snare. Basic hits. Cross stick. Rim shot. We have, what's this? Oh, stick on stick. This is great for, you know, drum solos and like solo breaks and stuff. Flam, 3-stroke rough, buzz. This is like a sort of, yeah, sforzando, diminuendo. Then we have timed crescendo rolls. Various lengths. Oh, this is the buzz roll for the snare. So you know, the velocity, the dynamics were set to mod wheel for that. If I turn it to velocity, I could just play that, like, or I could put it back to mod wheel. Then we have the crash cymbal, which can be choked using the key up here. And there's a crash side stick hit. There's also combo hits down at the bottom, which I'll just do right now because they have crash in it. So this is like a combination of drums all hit at the same time, recorded as one sample. It kind of just sounds a bit more natural sometimes that way. Some of these have round robins and some of them don't. They're just one-offs. But if you like play this crash one, you can use the crash choke key to stop that. And then we have the kick. There's not much to that. It's here. Actually, there is one thing to know. If you play at a really high velocity, I really have to wail it on it, but you get a what's called an into the drum hit. So normally, you know, the beater hits the drum and bounces back, but on an into the drum one, you keep the beater into the drum. It's got a bit of a different sound. So that's the sticks. Okay, so now let's switch to the brushes with the snares off. I'm going to play through most of these, but I'm not going to go into detail on the tempo syncable brush sweeps right now. I'll do a whole separate video on that. You've heard them in action at the beginning of this video in that brushes demo. So I'll just quickly go through all this. Of course, we have the keyboard updated to show the current mapping of this beater. When you change the beater selection, the keyboard updates. So certain things are the same. The kick will remain the same. Things like the hi-hat with the foot remain the same. We have some different kinds of snare hits. Toms. Snare roughs. Hi-hats. Crash. Ride. We have the ride sort of accent hit. Did that. This is just dual mapping of the other hi-hats so that you can play two hands if you want. Same with the snare. I mapped it up an octave. It's a little bit easier to play sometimes when you have that two-handed approach. Then we have, you know, the same hi-hat pedal splash that we had with the sticks. We have this tremolo sort of sound. These are the ballad brush sweeps. I'll do an in-depth thing on that. Then we have this accent sweep. This is really useful. These are regular, non-tempo aware brush sweeps. Where are they? Are various lengths. So it goes from long, medium, and that's for the pattern maker. And then I'll go to the brushes, snares on. Did I say snares off before? Those were snares off. This is snares on. And this is a more limited sample set. It doesn't have the sweeps because really the jazz drummers 90% of the time when they're doing the that stirring on the snare with the brushes, it's almost always with the snares off. But we did give you these extra ones, so it's really just the toms and the snare hits themselves that are different. All the cymbals and the kick and everything stays the same, obviously. I'm just going to do one more thing before we wrap it up. I'm going to go back to the sticks and just really quickly give you a listen to the different mic positions. So we've been listening to our mix, which is a combination of all of these with the exception of kit 1. Kit 1 is not included. So now if you click on a mic, to activate any one of these, it turns off the mix, and now you're making your own custom blend. If you hit mix, it turns off any of the mics. So we've got a blend of all the close mics. So this perspective, the ride will be quite quiet, and then the snare and the kick are really what you're getting here. Then we have the stereo overheads. So that would sort of be your foundation for a modern sounding mix. Then we have the overhead mono, which is like a tube U47 in Omni. So I use this as the foundation for a lot of the more vintage inspired presets. Kit 1 is sort of an odd duck. It's an RCA 77 mic pointed intentionally in a kind of atypical way. It's sort of almost like a trashy sound. If you're trying to make something sound like intentionally primitive or like trashy, or like I have a preset here called bad recording, that's this. It's kind of cool, but you have to be considered in the way you blend it with the other mics. Kit 2 is my sort of favorite. This is like an RCA 77, just a few feet back off the kit, and sort of gives you the whole picture of the kit. And then we have our room mic, which is a stereo ribbon mics, R88. Oh yeah, and of course the tape. I should have turned that on. Here's with the tape. And without. Yeah, I mean, at Sear Sound they have like 3 Fairchilds, if you can believe that. So we used the stereo one to print both of these signals to tape in one pass. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon. Bye.